Shalom. First and foremost, want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children that are keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Just wanted to go into a lesson on this YouTube short I literally just watched. I initially was going to do a lesson on a different topic, and I just opened up YouTube, and then I just clicked on it, and I got got drawn into it once I heard what was said. And I just decided to, make the video on this lesson. And Lord, will I still make the other lesson? But I'm going to play the video, and I'm going to get a couple scriptures. And what the guy says, what the woman said, what the guy says, it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. And also what the woman says makes sense, because what they're going into is a man's job, one of his duties, because that's really what they're going into. They're going into one of the duties of, husband and wife, man and woman, the situation, the dynamic. So he says one of the duties for a man, is protection. And then he went into the woman and said one of her duties is to provide him with sexual satisfaction. And he broke it down saying, well, if the man said he don't feel like doing it that day, well, if he don't feel like protecting his woman that day, and she, whatever happens, she get harmed. She gets harmed. Everybody gonna be looking at him crazy, like, that's your woman. You supposed to be ready to put your life on the line for your family. But when it's the other way around, and it's the woman's duty to provide the man with sexual satisfaction, she can be like, it don't matter. I don't feel like it today, and everything's perfectly fine. And that's how Esau Edom got his society set up. And ultimately, through feminism, that's what's been taught. But according to the scriptures, that's not right. That's not right according to the scriptures. And so he made a perfect, a good analogy, good example. And it just further exposed the mindset of the modern woman, But all that is literally leaving the earth. That mindset is leaving the earth. Feminism leaving the earth. And it's going to ultimately leave the earth during the time of Jacob's trouble. But all these wicked mindsets are leaving the earth. And Yahweh Shah is going to root out the rest upon Jacob's trouble, upon those thermonuclear missiles, and us beating the rest of it out of these other nations these next 1,000 years whenever Yahweh Shah returns. So I'm going to play this video, get a couple scriptures. Lord willing, is edifying. Fair use. I'm not making any money off of this video. It's strictly for educational purposes, and Lord will you edify.
Two men talk to women. Men want sex, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you want protection, right?
Mm-hmm.
So he decides, you know what? I don't feel like it because we got in a fight. You would look at him crazy if he didn't protect you, right?
Yeah, of course.
Because it's his duty to protect you, right? And it's your duty to provide him sexual satisfaction.
Yeah, but I feel like a guy should be more understanding.
Oh, okay, you should be more understanding that you got your ass whipped then. I didn't feel like it that day.
No, that's just wrong. That's just wrong.
Oh, now it's wrong.
That's wrong.
Okay. You know what's interesting? My duty is way more dangerous than yours. I'm expected to potentially lay my life on the line. All you gotta do is lay on the bed.
You can die giving birth.
Name one girl you know who died giving birth.
Listen, there's times where things are off, 100%. But generally speaking, if your man has some needs, and that's your man, then why can't he come to you?
Controversial take. This is why I always say you need to have multiple women.
Right. And so even at the end, he said controversial take. This is why he suggests having multiple women, but that's ultimately in the Bible. It's not a controversial take. It's literally stated in the scriptures that men have and will have multiple lives going into the past, the present, and the future. It's always been around. Men got multiple women now. They deal with multiple women or multiple wives or however you want to call it. Multiple women. That ain't nothing new. Ain't no new concept. It's just through feminism, Esau made it where women deal with multiple men, and it's seen as normal. But that's not normal. But going back into what he said, he was just going into one of the duties of a woman. A man is to protect his family, even put his life on the line. But for the woman, she has to, and his job is way more dangerous. Like he said, his job is way more dangerous, and he can potentially be leaving his family behind and going back to the spirit world just to make sure that they taken care of and they safe, especially his woman. But it's his woman's duty. One of her duties, his wife, his woman, one of her duties is to provide him with sexual satisfaction. And you see how her mindset be like, well, he should be more understanding. And like he said, you should be more understanding. Well, I didn't feel like protecting you that day. But all of this is written in the scriptures. The answers to all of the problems that we face are in the scriptures. So, this is 1 Corinthians 7. I'm gonna start at 1. It says, "Now as to the matters of which you wrote, it is good, beneficial advantages for a man not to touch a woman outside marriage." And why did Paul say that? Because even during that time, the women wasn't right, because that was the ancient Roman Empire, and now this is the modern Roman Empire. Not only just that, but also too, it takes you away from giving more focus to this ministry to Yahweh Shah. But now we're in a society where it's even worse. So it's more beneficial or advantageous if you are, a man in this world, or a man in this word, Salakia, man in this word and this truth, and you by yourself, you get more time to Yahweh Shah, and Yahweh Shah in return is gonna pour more into you, spiritually, financially, however the case may be. Eventually, the Lord is going to build you up and lift you up. You start becoming a better version of yourself, wherever the aspects and areas you need to work on. So you literally become greater. So that's what Paul was going into. He was saying, well, look, it's good. It ain't nothing wrong if you do that. And it's actually one of the best situations. But because of the temptation to participate in sexual immorality, let each man have his own wife and let each woman have her own husband. So he said, but nevertheless, also too, some people they need the women. They need a woman. Some women they need a man. So it's okay if you get married, if you deal with somebody. Either way, it's fine. It's two different situations, two different scenarios, and to each his own. And Yahweh Shah is gonna give everybody their portion anyway. Verse 3, getting to the point. The husband must fulfill his marital duty to his wife with goodwill and kindness, and likewise the wife to her husband. Now let's get a couple other translations. It says in the NLT, the husband should fulfill his wife's sexual needs, and the wife should fulfill her husband's needs. That's literally in the Bible. So going back to what the man said, he said a part of a woman's job and duty is to provide the man with sexual satisfaction. And, he's supposed to do the same thing. But in this case, he was talking on the woman, and he was exposing that woman's mind. All them women, even the other ones that didn't say nothing, they all were thinking the same thing. What did she say? Well, he should be more understanding. But that's not what the scriptures say. The scriptures say you're supposed to fulfill your duty, just like he's supposed to fulfill his duty. In the NET, it says a husband should give to his wife her sexual rights, and likewise a wife to her husband. So it ain't no way around it. And I'm gonna read one more, the HNV. Let the husband render to his wife the affection owed her, and likewise also the wife to her husband, the affection, because that's something that you don't see, or that's something that's leaving that has left the modern woman's mentality is affection. And if they show it to you, 9 times out of 10, it ain't gonna last. It ain't gonna last. It takes a woman whose mindset is being conformed. Even if she doesn't fully understand the truth, her mindset has to be conformed. But the women in this truth, their mindset is gonna be conformed to the scriptures, more so to how Yahweh Shah want us to be. Verse 4, AMP. The wife does not have exclusive authority over her own body, but the husband shares with her. And likewise, the husband does not have exclusive authority over his body, but the wife shares with him. Now let's get that in the other translations. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it in the NET. It says, it is not the wife who has rights to her own body, but the husband. In the same way, it is not the husband who has rights to his own body, but the wife. Going into the exact same thing he said in verse 3, meaning, look, if your wife needs that pleasure, you gotta do what you gotta do, because that's a part of marriage. And likewise with the husband. There is no women controlling when a man has sex. Now that's wicked. That's evil. You controlling when your man has sex and when he gets sexual pleasure. That's evil. It don't matter how many women he deal with. If he dealing with you, you don't deny that man. That's literally wicked in the eyes of Yahweh Shah. And the HNV, oh no, that wasn't it. I thought it was another one I seen. Let's keep going. Verse 5. Do not deprive each other of marriageable rights, except perhaps by mutual consent for a time, so that you may devote yourselves unhindered to prayer, but come again soon, so that Satan will not tempt you to sin because of your lack of self-control. Now we're going to get that in a different translation. NLT. Do not deprive each other of sexual relations unless you both agree to refrain from sexual intimacy for a limited time, so you can give yourselves more completely to prayer. Afterward, you should come together again. Let me pull it up. Afterwards, did I pull it up? Oh, it's on the left side. Do not deprive each other of sexual relations unless you both agree to refrain from sexual intimacy for a limited time, so you can give yourselves more completely to prayer. Afterward, you should come together again, so that Satan won't be able to tempt you because of your lack of self-control. Right. So like he said, if you go a time without, it's like when you fasting. Well, I'm reading the KJV. Verse 5, it says, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and come together again, that Satan tempt you not for your inconsistency. So it said, unless you fast and prayers, a high holy day is the Sabbath. Those are times where you don't have sex. But outside of that, you supposed to be having sex with each other. You're supposed to be fulfilling each other's needs. That's a part of marriage. And you're not supposed to deprive each other of that. But again, this society is wicked. This society is extremely, extremely wicked. And then just going back to the verse 4 where it said the wife doesn't have a power or exclusive authority over her own body. And likewise, women today will tell you controlling. It don't even have to be with sex. It can be with anything. But especially with that, they tell you you're controlling. You're too controlling. But this is all in the scriptures. This is all in the scriptures about how a man deals with his woman. And even Solomon said, well, that's going to something different. Let me see verse 6. Okay. So yeah, verse 5, that's the point. But just going back into that video, like I said, the modern day woman, they don't understand the scriptures, and these people, the Christianity, these churches they don't teach you the scriptures. They don't teach you right. They don't even teach you that there is no such thing as girlfriend and boyfriend, because the first thing they say is, well, sex before marriage is a sin or it's fornication. Well, where is boyfriend and girlfriend in the Bible? And 9 times out of 10, girlfriend and boyfriend on this, in this society, they gonna be having sex. So, but this society is built on nothing but wickedness and confusion, which is why it's called Babylon the Great. And it's the ancient Roman Empire revitalized 2.0. So Lord will, this is edifying lesson. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS that rule well. Peace, love, and salutations to all the brothers out there pushing this word of sincerity and the truth. Shalom to the brothers, sisters, and children out there keeping this word of sincerity and the truth. Until next time, shalom.